So describe an experiment to investigate the electrolysis of using inert electrodes of aqueous solutions such as sodium chloride, copper 2 sulfate, and dilute sulfuric acid. So looking at copper 2 sulfate, we got copper 2 plus ion, we got sulfate ion, SO4 2 minus. So copper sulfate breaks down to give us these, and water will break down to give us the hydroxide ion and the hydrogen ion. So how do we decide, based on the fact that we have two of the two positive ions and two negative ions, how do we decide which one goes to the cathode and which one goes to the anode? Well, we know the positive is going to go to the cathode and the negative is going to go to the anode. But how do we decide which one becomes preferentially discharged? So to do this, we use what's called the electrochemical series, also known to you guys as the reactivity series. So there's your reactivity series. Pop stars can make absolute zillions if little children spend generously. So we'll also slot in a hydrogen in here, okay, so we can see whether or not it's the hydrogen that gets discharged or the metal ion. So remember, the hydrogen sits just above copper. I think that's important to remember. The hydrogen fits just above copper, so you need to remember that one. Okay, right, so then we look at our anions. So looking at our anions, so these are all, cations are all oxidizing agents and anions are all reducing agents. So you look at the weakest is the sulfate, then the nitrate, the fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine, and hydroxide. So you need to remember the position of the hydroxide because that's the one that's present in the water. Okay, the rest you can see fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine. It's this trend from the most reactive to the least reactive of the halogens, and then just remember that sulfate is weaker than nitrate. So that's pretty much all you need to know for that one, and then the OH minus is really strong. Okay, so what's going to happen with copper sulfate is the question. Okay, so the rule is if two different ions arrive at the cathode, the lowest in the electrochemical series is the one that is discharged first. So copper is below hydrogen in the electrochemical series, so at the cathode we're going to get copper discharged. Okay, and at the anode the OH minus is the lowest down, so that's what's going to be discharged. So we're going to get our water there. Okay, so let's look at the reactions at the cathode and the reactions at the anode. So what we end up is with Cu plus 2E minus to give you CuS, and then 4 hydroxide ions to give you water, oxygen gas, and 4 electrons. Okay, so things you might observe are a pinky brown color develops on the cathode because the copper is becoming deposited. A colorless gas is evolved at the anode, that is your oxygen gas. There is an increase in pH of the solution due to the discharge of hydroxide ions, and the loss of intensity of blue color due to the discharge of Cu2+. You're losing hydroxide ions, so you're getting less alkaline, and you're taking away copper ions, so you're getting less blue.